Yes, if you could just speak to some of your former NBA colleagues that were at the game, Tracy McGrady and Coach Bo and others.
Man, I can't stop smiling just to see the support. The support was real tonight. It was beautiful to see Coach Bosher come out, brought Coach Quinney, also Coach O and Duncan Robinson, and all the Miami Heat. People that touched me and had an impact on my life and an impact on coaching. And then also to see, one of my favorite teammates, Tracy McGrady, in the building. Flew in from Texas and flying back home tonight to be here to support. And it was awesome, bro. And the best of it all was, those guys spoke to the players and talked about, just, I'm not gonna go into details, everything that they spoke about, but the brotherhood is real.
If I can follow up on a couple of things, like to have your former, boss sitting right behind you while you're coaching, was that interesting at all? Were you thinking about that? He's right behind you.
I wasn't thinking about it, but obviously I saw him, and I was so locked in and engaged in the game. But it was great just to know that support was in the building, and to take away from his time and know that he has to prep for an important game tomorrow versus Detroit Pistons. It just shows that he's so selfless in so many ways and so supportive, obviously, and what he has done to help me in coaching, it's been special.
Yeah.
Juwan, this was one of Devontae's better outings of the season. I guess great to see him on the court tonight.
Well, I saw a guy who was not overthinking it, was able to take advantage of what the defense gave him. There were times when they went under on screens and he didn't second guess himself. He just sat in there and took a shot, and it's something that we've always have talked about. No matter what, make or miss. He also did a really good job of getting in the basket and touching the paint, making plays for others, or also finishing. He came out with a burst that was pretty special, and we're gonna need that burst throughout the year.
And we just talked, he mentioned that he thought he was going to struggle with this transition at the start of the year. Just how do you feel like he's handled all the ups and downs so far?
I think he's been extremely, I would say, very reserved in some ways. Also, he's accepted, the coaching that's and the teaching that's been delivered his way from either myself, Coach Isley, and others. He's also taken ownership at times when he's made mistakes like his teammates have, and he's never deflected or pointed the finger at or made excuses. And I respect a guy like that. And like I've always said, and I think I told you guys this, I'm in the trenches with him, and I support him, and I'm always going to support him because he's one of us. He's part of our family.
Michael?
Juwan, for Hunter to play as efficiently as he did tonight, what did you think of both the way he was able to carve out space and then the types of feeds he was getting from the guards to create those positions?
Well, Hunter is nothing I haven't seen before. He got the ball in spots where he was able to be efficient by making quick moves. He also was aggressive too, whether it was spin into a basket to finish over top of defenders, or when he caught the ball in the low post by staying low and taking his time. He also shot jumpers when it was given to him. It was a great balanced game for Hunter.
Nick?
Frankie mentioned earlier that this past week of practice he thought it was maybe one of the best you guys have had all year, and it was also really competitive. Any of those things that you saw from those competitive drills translate to the game today, and what improvements have you seen over the past week?
Yes, I've seen a carryover for sure. It's not just the drills; it's just been like their attitude. Came Monday. They came in with a lot of energy, and they were razor sharp with their focus. No one came with a head down. Everyone was eyes open, ears perking. Was ready for hey, let's fix it, and whatever we need to do, get back to the habits that we've been working on, because no one felt good after a Saturday loss. And as a coach, when you see your team come in and respond the way they did on practice on Monday, but then also consistently brought it again on Tuesday. And we had a day off on Wednesday, and same goes for Thursday and Friday. You know, that's the Michigan team I know, and we're gonna need that. But there are times when if you do get a loss, but I like the way how, you know, I can trust that our guys have the attitude to come in and want to get to work and see how we can get better together collectively. And I have that same attitude too. They know I'm all about that. I'm not the coach who's coming in screaming all the time. I'm not the coach going to be, you know, yelling and pointing the fingers, but I'm always going to be the first to look myself in the mirror and see how I can improve too.
Alejandro?
Juwan, you've talked in recent weeks at times about disappointment on the defensive end, whether that's one-on-one or help defense. Today you held them under 30 points until the under 12 in the second half. What did you see different? What did you see improved?
Yeah, I saw, you know, individual defense, guarding a man one-on-one and not allowing to get to a spot and break us down. I also saw where, you know, the other four guys were there in their strength position, ready to help if a guy happened to get broken down off the dribble. I also saw where a team didn't allow too many paint touches to their opponents, and every shot that was taken was contested pretty much. And that's how we have to defend. You know, this is a college basketball where, you know, in my opinion, you know, the Big Ten is one of the toughest conferences, and we're going to need that. We're going to need that throughout the Big Ten season. We're also going to need that versus our non-conference opponents because pretty much every non-conference opponent we've faced has been an older group, where older I'm speaking of is juniors and seniors or redshirt seniors, and with that comes with experience. And we're not making any excuses. We're learning as we go. But the important for us is we got to stick to, you know, being able to perform the details consistently on a night-to-night basis.
Nick, you want to close this out?
Yeah, so yesterday you mentioned cutting down on turnovers. How did you feel about how you guys handled the ball tonight and the amount of turnovers you had?
Yeah, in the first half, you know, I looked at the turnovers and I was like, wow, you know what, that's still too high. But then, you know, after the game, I saw we had 11 turnovers, and I always said our goal is 11 or less. And so we got to our goal of 11. If we can stay consistent with that, that means that we're not giving our opponents too many extra possessions. You know, our defensive numbers look very solid. Offensively, yes, you know, we would like to get our three-point percentage higher, but, you know, it's growing. 2-point field goal percentages is pretty good, but it always gets back to, you know, we got to, you know, cut out the offensive rebounds and the turnovers, because that's where the extra gifts is happening from there.
Okay, Coach?